Are you in the market for a 2-inch digital Cinewhoop? Well, if you are, I think this might be just for you. This is the Flywoo CineRace20. It's a 2-inch quad that uses the Cadex Polat Nano, and you can fly this with your DJI digital goggles and your DJI remote control, and it is sub 250 grams. All right, now this little drone really packs a punch. It comes with the Goku F405 all-in-one 20-amp flight controller. It also comes with 1203 Pro 3400 kV motors, and it's also equipped with a Bluetooth module that allows you to do configuration, although I have not tested that. So let's go ahead and unbox this. So in the box, you do get a little sticky pad for your batteries. Looks like you could use this on another drone or cut it and use it on this one. You also get 2 complete sets of props, one kind of yellow, green, and one black. You also get some instructions on propeller directions. This is props out. There is a support document in here that tells you you can visit this website. There's lots of screws and little nuts in here for your props and other miscellaneous repairs you might do. It also comes with some stickers. And you get 2 battery straps, one longer one and one shorter one. And you're also going to get a little pad here that goes on the bottom of the quad. There's already one installed, but this kind of keeps it off the ground because it is a pusher configuration. All right, first impressions upon opening the boxes, I think this thing is awesome. It's teeny tiny and it looks super cool. And we're gonna go ahead and install the antenna here that comes laid flat. You can see here there is a connection. This is gonna be for, I think it's for a receiver. It's already wired to the flight controller if you don't wanna use the DJI remote. And there's also a built-in 5-volt battery for the SMO 4K. You can also get an adapter and use it for a naked GoPro. Let's go ahead and get the props on and take a look at this thing. Now, if you guys don't have one of these, this little electric screwdriver, man, this thing is handy. You can change the bits out. I'll leave a link in the description. Like I said, this is a pusher configuration. This is my first pusher quad. You do have to kind of think about it for a second to make sure you have the props in the right direction and you've installed them correctly. Now, these screws here, if you need to get access to the USB port on the Cadex system, you can remove these 3 screws and just kind of pull the system apart a little bit, and it will give you access to that USB port, because unfortunately it is blocked. I took out too many screws here, so you don't have to do that. You could just take out 3 and kind of pivot the system open. Fortunately for me, my Vista was already activated, so I didn't have to do anything with that, but I didn't know at the time, so I went ahead and plugged it in, took it apart. There is a bind button you can see right here. You do not need to take this apart to hit the bind button if your unit is already activated. All right, so let's talk weight. I'm looking at about 126 grams with my 3D printed Insta360 Go 2 mount. We're looking at about 223 with a 850 milliamp hour battery. And we're also looking at about 250 right there with the Insta360 Go 2. Now, there are some things you could do on this drone to save weight. For instance, you could trim this down here. This is a little spot for your antenna if you're using analog. There's also a wiring lead here for your SMO 4K. If you're not going to use that, you could unsolder that. There's also that long wire that I had tucked inside here. This looks like it's for a receiver, pre-wired to the flight controller. It's pretty long. You could unsolder that as well. You could also remove your battery pad if you're worried about something like that. Now, also the big thing is these pads. There are foam pads that go all the way around the quad itself. And you could probably remove those and save a ton of weight. And keep in mind, I am flying with an 850 milliamp hour battery. This is toward the high end of the recommendation. I think you can go to 900. Now let's take a look at one of the coolest parts of this drone. There is a switch here for the lights, and man, these lights are bright. They really glow. I mean, I was flying around in a dark spot and they were like illuminating everything around me, so they are pretty cool. All right, so we're gonna do a quick indoor flight test, make sure the props and everything are set up and everything works, and we're gonna take it outside for our first flight. All right, so here we are on a beautiful sunny January day in Colorado. Just gonna take this thing around for a little cruise. I can already tell it's a little bit heavy, a little higher in the throttle, but again, I am running an 850 milliamp hour battery with a Insta360 Go 2. And yeah, it's a little breezy. The wind's kind of pushing me around a little bit, so obviously this thing is, whoop, hit the chain. Obviously this thing is a little bit susceptible to the wind, or very susceptible to the wind because of its size and its form factor. I am flying in horizon mode right now. I like to fly my Cinewhoops, if I'm doing like tight proxy flying or indoor flying, I do either fly in horizon or, some sort of stability mode. But yeah, I am going to do a flight here with ACRO. We'll try that next, but I got this thing because I just want to have something to push around indoors, or maybe for like really small gaps outdoors, or just, it's a small quad, so it's convenient to carry. I can put it in the same bag with my controller and the goggles in a very, very small like shoulder bag. And so yeah, it's kind of fun. First impressions, it flies really nice. Like I said, it does feel a little bit heavy, but of course I have it really loaded down, so that's probably part of it. So I'm just gonna fly around and do a little bit of range testing, check the signal, maybe hit this gap here. Let's slow down, hit the gap. Yeah, I'm gonna just try to maybe gain altitude and see how it comes down, and just do different flight characteristics with it, just see how it performs. I do see there's a little bit of a bobble. I'm not sure if that's something to do with the tune or the way I have it loaded, so I'll have to follow up on that and see if I can make any improvements on that. But man, it's great for hitting little gaps. I really want to try and see how small of gaps I can go through here eventually. Probably not today. I just want to do some testing with it and share my first impressions with you guys. It is very cold out today. It's about 35 degrees. So I can't imagine my battery life is going to be that great. So we'll have to report and see how it does. But obviously if you're in a warmer climate, you're not going to have an issue like I am with temperatures. So yeah, but like I said, it's really fun. You can just zip in. Oh, okay. Let's see if we can get it going. There we go. And oh, down and yep, through. All right. Yeah, so durability, I guess. Yeah, we'll see how it holds up. I'm not gonna bring it back and check to see what it looks like. I'm just gonna assume everything's working and functioning because it's flying okay. Because I basically want to see how much flight time I can get with it. Just doing a mix of different flying styles. Just hovering and hitting little gaps like this tree right here. Yep. Yeah. But man, it really is a lot of fun. I think you could probably do a little more if you had the 400 milliamp hour battery or something on it. You'd feel a little more agile. It'd probably get tossed around in the wind a little bit more, but you wouldn't be so high in the throttle while you're flying it. But yeah, I mean, so far it does handle really well. Now I am flying with the Polat Nano. This is a new camera to this version. This is an updated version of this quad with some different lighting, a different camera mounting bracket, and then of course you can get the Polat Nano or the Nebula Nano, and I don't really like that camera too much, so that's why I went with this one, the more updated version. Now it is a little deceiving. So far I can tell when I hit those chains. I mean, like I said, it is a little breezy, but it's a little more warped or fisheye maybe than I'm used to, or maybe I'm just not used to flying a quad that's this small. Now this camera is locked at 16:9 at 60 frames per second, and yeah, okay, never mind. I was thinking about going through that little gap, which I will on another day, but I do not want to go down in the snow because I am not conformal coated, and this is my first day with this drone, so I definitely don't want to ruin it today. So we'll come back and hit those maybe when it's not breezy. That'd be kind of a cool little gap to hit there. But yeah, so far it's doing pretty good on the battery. I mean, it's I usually land at about 14.2 just to kind of preserve my batteries and make sure everything's good and on the up and up and reduce sag. So that's about where we are right now. I've been flying for about 5 minutes. So let's go ahead and bring it in for a landing here on the table. Here we go. Oh, over we go. So everybody wants to know, can it freestyle? And what does the Polat Nano camera look like? Well, here it is. And yeah, so we're gonna do a little flip, and it took everything I had to not smash the ground. I was at 100% throttle right there. Now, like I said, keep in mind I am running an action camera on here at this time, and I also have one of the heaviest batteries they recommend to have on the quad, so it's probably not best to be doing freestyle, but we're gonna try it anyway. And after proving that it wasn't very good at this, let's just keep trying it until we hit the ground, I suppose. So yeah, there we go. So I did remove the Insta360 Go 2 to give it another shot, and yeah, it was much better. It made a big difference. I was able to kind of recover and float through these things a lot better. Keep in mind, I still do have the heavy battery on here. I don't have a small battery, but I'm just kind of playing around right now and just seeing how this thing goes, and you see it was a little bit heavy there. I did not buy this drone for ACRO. I have a 5-inch for that. I have some other smaller quads for that I do as well, but yeah, this was just going to be kind of Cinewhoopy. I wanted something small to hit little gaps, something that I could fly indoors. I was just kind of intrigued by the idea of the smallest digital Cinewhoop that I could find, and maybe there's something smaller, but I really like this one. It had decent reviews, and yeah, it's doing pretty well without the Insta360 Go 2 on it. When you're trying to do some flips and rolls and things, it doesn't really have a problem. Probably do a lot better with that 400 milliamp hour battery, but I just wanted to show you, even with the heavier battery, it is capable of doing it. But yeah, let's take a look and see what this thing can do indoors. I took it around the garage, excuse the mess, last night just to kind of play with it and see how she did. And yeah, I mean, it's fun. Look, you can see the blue lights everywhere, all over the garage, reflecting off those LED lights. So this thing is really zippy. Fun to fly indoors. Obviously, like I said, the wind outdoors really affects its performance. So, you know, if it's gusty outside, you're definitely not going to be flying this drone. You're going to be fighting to keep it up in the air. So, yeah, fun little toy, fun little thing to play with. I'm not going to use it on any professional shoots, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Overall, my first impressions of this drone are very positive. It's small, it's light, it's got cool LEDs on it. It's digital, it's sub 250 grams. If you guys are interested in this drone, I will put a link in the description along with the link to the Insta360 Go 2. As always, this is Lee from Adventure FPV. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to the channel.